this before, and we have seen it much, much, much more recently than the 2013 playoffs. I mean, I have more stories that I've written on Coyle over the years have been why I've got to show more consistency and be this player because he's done this 10 different times. He's a tease. He's always been a tease. So now can he continue? The other thing, and one thing I will say that is starting to drive me nuts is the revisionist history that fans think that he's been a right wing for the last 6 years. He's played center more than he has played right wing here. The difference is I think that he realizes that he is in a top 6 role, and this is his best opportunity right now to play next to Zach Parise, and it has motivated him. And Zach has made it extremely clear over and over and over and over again that he wants to continue to play with Coyle. So read what you want there. So I do think that this is great to see. But now here's where the GM has to really make a quality decision. Do you get lured into this tease and say, oh my God, we can't trade this guy because we need him, that we can't live without this type of player? Or do you move him now while everybody else is seeing that this is the type of player that he is? The scary thing is that if you move him and you don't get players that can make an impact now, well, the Wild right now are in dire strait if they don't have his speed up the middle. Because Eric Stahl's playing the worst he's played in Minnesota, and Mikko Koivu has been, I don't know what the heck that was. But Mikko Koivu, we have sound effects now, like the radio?
No, preemptively bleeping you out. That's all.
Did I say something?
No, but we expected you to.
Oh, okay. Is that what was going on? But Mikko, it's funny. I thought he was outstanding in Toronto. I thought he was awful in Ottawa. Didn't think he was very good last night. Montreal, not very good either. So Mikko's kind of in that back, looking tired, 34 years old stage. So if all of a sudden you don't have Coyle on this team, well, who are you going to rely on? And don't say
Arsenault. So no, I agree. Yeah. I know he wants to stay up now that he's back, huh?
Yeah, he does. I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, he wants his full salary, not his $67,500 salary.
For sure.
Yeah.
I just found out Bert and Julie are going to Germany with us.
Nice, yeah.
That's
you didn't
exciting.
know that?
No,
Awesome.
I did. Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm really excited. So Vicky and Clyde always comes on the trip that we have to Europe, and now Bert and Julie are coming too. So if you don't mind, Jim, if you do want to come to next July 9th to the 18th, if you want to come to the Alps, Germany, Austria, and Switzerland with Anthony LaPanta and me, and his lovely wife Margot, and my mother Barbara, definedestinations.com. Please come. So good job there, Vicky. I'm impressed that you brought that up.
Well, I'm working on somebody.
I want somebody that came on our Ireland Scotland trip to come, but
and his lovely wife.
Yes. Awesome wife. Who I didn't realize. I didn't realize U2 was playing after, and they were staying an extra day. And when I was investigating on how to change my trip because I wanted so badly to just go see U2 and in their homeland.
Yes.
That would be
I think
cool.
We're going to go in a couple days early if they go and hang in Munich.
Well, I'm staying a couple days late to hang with Niederreiter, whether he's here or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, do a big story. I did. I am the. Sorry.
We know.
I am the. That actually said to Nino, I'm like, no, if you're traded, this is still going to happen because I'm going to have to book my flight home. I'm just saying,
He knows.
Don't think all next summer I'm going to purposely not write your name in trade rumors because I'm hoping you're not going to get traded because I'm doing this story.
He was in that top 20 article.
Yeah. Well,
on The Athletic.
that was my contribution to that article.
Okay,
then. Yeah.
All right.
So take that with a grain of salt.
Thank you, Vicki. Appreciate it. I want to thank Fixology Repair, fixologyrepair.com. John Hedges, who runs the two shops in the Twin Cities, usually comes out to our shows. He's busy tonight.
Somebody just came up and showed us receipts.
Sam Gibbons came up. Gibbons, I want to make sure I get it right. Sam Gibbons came up and said that he dropped his watch, I believe. I think it was his
Apple Watch?
Apple Watch, iPhone. He dropped something, and he took it into Fixology Repair. He said they had it fixed and ready to go in 30 minutes. I just had 2 tablets fixed at the Mall of America location, and they transferred them to the downtown location. They have a location, third floor of the Mall of America by Nordstrom's, downtown, not far from here in the Skyway, just south of the Wells Fargo Center. And they work fast, and they do really good work. And John has been a great friend of the program and friend of ours for a long time. So check out fixologyrepair.com.
There are some things in life that you just can't live without. Now, whether it's a special piece of jewelry, a watch, or even your smartphone, you want it in working condition. At Fixology Repair, we are committed to restoring your pieces so that everything works or fits the way it ought to. Watch servicing, chain repair, and broken screen replacements are just a few of the services that we offer at our 2 locations, Mall of America and the Skyway in downtown Minneapolis. Please visit us at fixologyrepair.com or at fixologymn on Twitter to learn more. Mention this ad and get a 10% discount on our services.
And one other note, yep. I'm going to put most of my, if you follow me on Twitter or you follow Michael on Twitter, please follow Talk North Pod on Twitter. We're going to put our show dates, special deals from our sponsors, everything like that on that, and you'll also be able to access the shows that way. Follow us on Talk North Pod. I would appreciate it. And, of course, follow Michael. And our next show is going to be 6 p.m. here at Dulono's Pizza, downtown Minneapolis, January 28th. 6 p.m., January 28th at Dulono's Pizza. Yes, sir.
So,
Ben.
Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for having me on again. Put your Paul Fenton thinking cap on for a second. The most likely between, by the February 28th deadline, the Wild will be, let's say, 7 through 10. Most likely.
Right.
In that range. What do you think, and best educated guess is to what's going to happen at the trade deadline for the Wild? Do you think they buy? Do you think they're going to be buyers? Do you think Paul Fenton will still be motivated and determined to sell, or
I don't think he's going to be motivated. I mean, I don't know. I think he's going to want to probably, if they're in a chance to make a push for a playoff spot and to get better for a potential run, I think he would buy. Now, what that entails, what type of pieces he's willing to give up, I don't know. I mean, it's a tough call right now the way they are. But right now, you look at the position that they've put themselves in, they're actually in a much better. First of all, Anaheim stinks. I just cannot even believe that they're above them.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean they're awful, and I mean they'll get a freebie win in a couple days against Ottawa, maybe even tonight. I can't if they play Ottawa tonight, but then their schedule coming up is hellacious, and they've lost 8 in a row, and if you remember, I mean it is talk about the Wild again making me look stupid, but I remember the gamer that I wrote in Anaheim, how Jack Hughes is going to love that place. Then the Wild went, and they went, and I was just waiting for Bob Murray's email or text message like, how about that, you? So that's 3. So, so anyway, do we really have to beep that word?
No, we'll let it ride.
Okay. So.
Nobody listens to this show expecting to not be offended.
The thing that I do wonder, because the Wild, can you go into the playoffs if you're Paul Fenton and you really legitimately are going to add? Can you go into the playoffs and look at the way that Mikko and Stahl are playing right now and say this is good enough? Like, do you maybe even consider moving Stahl if you think you can get a better center back in either that trade or another trade? It's something they're really going to have to consider. I mean, this is not. I think everybody knows the respect I have for Eric, but Eric last night was going on and on about the chances he's getting, and I just don't see it. He's just not playing well right now, and I think that he's starting to get scared about that because he also doesn't want to be traded, and he's almost like starting to make us all think, oh, the chances are there, the chances are there. This is not the same player that he was last year, and he looks slower, his hands look slower, and that's always to me the worst sign is when the hands go. That's worse than the legs. I mean, I hate to say it like this because he's a good buddy of mine. Mark Parrish, that was the way his career ended. His hands got slow. And the second a goal scorer's hands get slow and they can't turn. I mean, look at Nino right now. He cannot pull the trigger on anything. And he's in 26. So.
Yeah, that's why I think it's a very, I'll be curious to see, especially this being.
And they need another defenseman. Yeah. If Dumba's not going to be back, they've got to get a D. And even if Dumba's back, what type of player is he going to be after missing 3.5 months? I mean, he's not going to come back looking like me. But is he going to be a defenseman that can unleash the same shot coming off a ruptured pec? No freaking way. I mean, so I
good
do
self-restraint
think,
there.
So I think they're going to have to add a D at some point. Again, 5-6 weeks from now is a long ways away. We'll see. Again, I think it's perfect, the position the Wild are in. If they can figure out a way, I think they have no chance of beating Winnipeg in the first round. But I do think that they are a team that could beat Nashville. Nashville's very beatable. They haven't, although they just turned their season around. I mean, that team's crazy. You knew they're starting to play well, but they had just lost 10 in a row on the road and were just losing, and then all of a sudden, boom, they have a big comeback win against Washington. Now they're on fire again. But I think the Wild could beat Nashville in a 7-game series if everything goes right. And I do think the Wild could beat even a team like Vegas. San Jose, I have my doubts about going there and being able to beat, especially if Burns and Karlsson are playing the way that they are right now. And Calgary is a team that, I think is beatable. I don't think the Wild could beat them. But I think that it wouldn't be a bad thing to be in a wild card spot and maybe get, if Nashville finishes first in the division or going into the Pacific and at least trying something new. We've seen it. They just can't. They're not beating Winnipeg in a 7-game series. I don't think. It's always different when they play them here.
2-0 against them this year, though.
I know, but they're not. Trust me.
I get it.
That game that the Wild won in Winnipeg last month, that was as bad as Winnipeg looked like they were like the Wild last night in Boston. I mean, there was just no speed. Nothing was happening for them. Wheeler, Laine, Carner were MIA, Scheifele. I mean, so that to me was an aberration.
And then just my last question too, kind of follow up on that. That's why I'm curious to see what he does at trade deadline this year, because I was reading the article about the top 25 free agents, unrestricted free agents for the summer, and it is actually one of those situations where a lot of them are still pretty young, late 20s and stuff. So it actually would be a market that's really would be good to get into. And so I almost kind of feel like, do you want to risk adding any salary to the deadline? Like would it be more prudent to stand pat and be like, I want to be ready for the offseason to jump in?
Well, but I mean, again, you could add those players as rentals. They're again, you're not adding past this year. If you traded for a Stone or a Duchesne, which I just don't know how the Wild would do that without giving up just an absolute fortune in terms of assets that they can't afford to give up. So I don't see the Wild being in that those type of things. But you add a Mark Stone or a Matt Duchesne or a Wayne Simmons or whoever, Skinner I think is UFA. I mean, not that Buffalo's trading him, but you're not adding past this season. So I do think that there's ways to buy it, but all these guys are going to cost a lot of money, set by the precedent of the Marty Hansel trade a couple years ago. So,
absolutely.
Sorry.
Let's thank Tony Hoaglund, Hoaglund, works out of Champlin. Michael and I both use his services. Very easy to communicate with, app, phone, email. He's a good guy. He will take care of you. Check out Tony Hoaglund, your State Farm agent in Champlin.
Hey, Minnesota sports fans. This is your local State Farm agent, Tony Hoaglund. I need you all to ask yourselves this question. If you're in an at-fault car accident and you are sued for $700,000, how much of that $700,000 will my current insurance company pay? If you are unsure or can't answer all $700,000, you need to give us a call. State Farm has been number one in car insurance since World War II and number one in homeowners insurance since 1964. For a no-obligation review of your current policies, call us at 763-421-4900 or check out our website at www.champlininsurance.com.
Yes, sir.
So, if any other GM in the league knows our team and what we have in the minors and everything, it's our friend Mr. Fletcher in Philadelphia. What do you think of any chances of Fenton and Fletcher talking amongst themselves and trying to work something out, or is one of the other one going to tell them to go pound sand because they both know what they have and one is going to demand too much for?
Well, I think so. I'm sure that Fenton's trying to get the moon from Fletcher and vice versa. If I'm Fletcher, I probably look at the Wild and I don't want that to be my first trade. And I'm also, if I'm Fletcher, I look at the Wild. Certain guys that Fletcher committed to on this team got him fired, and I mean it's that simple. So, do you really want as your first move to be grabbing guys like Jason Zucker, who I think the Wild would move right now if they could, or Niederreiter or Charlie Coyle? I can't see that being your first move when they have disappointed over and over and over again when it mattered most. So I'm sure that the Wild have tried to even trade Eck there. In fact, I pretty positive, and that hasn't obviously happened yet. So I just think that it probably isn't going to happen, but there's zero doubt that they've talked. I know that for a fact. So.
And then on the same vein, if the Wild do make a move and Fenton does.